What if I told you that a broke unknown kid with nothing but a crumpled $100 bill and zero business experience walked into a dying water delivery shop and within 90 days had every single competitor on that street completely silent? His name is Lenny. Right now I want you to picture him. He's sitting on the curb outside this run-down station. His knuckles are tight, his jaw is set, and in his hand he's gripping that single $100 bill. It's every cent he has left to his name. Behind him stands the sorest-looking water station you have ever seen. The walls are cracked and faded. A dented sign hangs crookedly. Dusty gallon jugs are stacked haphazardly at the entrance like ancient ruins. And everyone watching? They're all placing bets on how fast he's going to fail. Here's why they are so sure he's finished. 5 other water stations already operate on this very street. 5, and they have been locked in a brutal price war for years. The going rate for a purified water jug has been shredded from $5 all the way down to $2. After you subtract the rent, the fuel, and the wear on the equipment, the net profit on each delivery is a laughable 50 cents. This isn't just a tough market. This is a sinkhole with a welcome mat. Rivals smirk at him from across the street. Neighbors hover at their windows, just waiting to watch this kid pack up and disappear. Nobody, not one single person, thinks Lenny has a chance, and they are all completely wrong. Here's the thing about Lenny. He was never actually thinking about water. The very first move he made after taking over wasn't cutting costs, firing anyone, or slashing prices to compete. Instead, he picked up a can of red paint and a brush. And on that beaten-up sign outside, he wrote 4 words that stopped the entire neighborhood cold. Drink water for free. People genuinely thought he'd snapped. Free delivery? That's not bold, that's financial suicide. Competitors laughed out loud. Locals gathered at the entrance like it was some kind of street show, whispering to each other, "There is no way this is real." But nobody, not a single one of them, could see what Lenny had built behind those 4 red words. When curious neighbors finally walked in, Lenny greeted every single one of them the same way. Calm, warm, and completely direct. "I mean exactly what the sign says," he told them. "You will never pay for water again. Not a cent, ever." Then came the structure. A one-time refundable deposit of $200 for a smart water dispenser. Fully refundable, anytime, no questions asked. As long as that deposit stays, Lenny covers every drop of water for life. He'll even deliver 100 free jugs to your door every year, automatically. You don't have to lift a finger. Now on the surface, this sounds like either a scam or the fastest way to go broke in history. Water costs money. Delivery costs money. Labor costs money. Everyone doing the math in their head came up with the exact same answer. Guaranteed loss. But within 2 weeks, Lenny had signed up 2,000 families. 2,000 deposits, at $200 each. His bank account now held $400,000 in cash. The neighborhood was stunned. The competitors went quiet. And Lenny? He was just getting started. While everyone else was still trying to figure out how he planned to survive, Lenny had already activated the same weapon used decades ago by a 17-year-old kid from Nebraska, who would later become the most celebrated investor in history, Warren Buffett. It was the mid-1940s. Buffett had no interest in trading hours for dollars like his classmates. He believed, deep in his bones, that swapping your time for someone else's money was the least efficient way to build a life. He wanted money that made more money without needing him in the room. So at 17, he bought a used pinball machine for $25. He didn't play it. He didn't sell it. He walked into the busiest barbershop in town and pitched the owner something unusual. "Your customers wait 30 minutes with nothing to do," he said. "I'll put this machine here for free. You pay nothing. You maintain nothing. We split whatever it earns 50-50. The barber thought about it for about 10 seconds. No cost, no risk, and bored customers get entertained. He shook Buffett's hand on the spot. That first night, Buffett opened the coin box and counted $4. $4 earned while he was sleeping. Here's where the story splits between average and exceptional. Most teenagers would have bought lunch, seen a movie, rewarded themselves. Buffett didn't spend a single coin. He sat on the front steps, did the math, and came to one conclusion. If one machine earns $4 a night, 7 days of profit covers the cost of a second machine. Then 2 machines fund a third, then 3 become 5. He followed that plan with absolute discipline. Every single dollar went back into expansion. He negotiated with barbershops across the city, and within 3 months, He had dozens of machines running simultaneously across Washington, D.C., generating passive income every single day while he studied, read, and planned his next move. He said something once that stayed with his partner forever. "I don't need to earn the money myself. I just need the right people, in the right seats, making money for me while they wait." That is exactly what Lenny was replicating. That $400,000 deposit wasn't revenue. It was Lenny's pinball machine. He took that cash and walked straight to the largest water filter manufacturing plant in the city, a factory hemorrhaging money, on the verge of mass layoffs. The director was desperate. Lenny put the cash on his desk and made one simple offer. "I'll pre-purchase your filter output for the next 10 years. Half of market price. In exchange, I want 30% of your equity." The director stared at the money. It was a lifeline. He signed. Lenny then repeated the same move with a struggling plastic bucket supplier prepayment in exchange for deep discount, long-term supply contracts, and an ownership stake. Before anyone even realized what had happened, Lenny had quietly seized control of his own supply chain. The result? His cost per water jug, previously around $1.50 when you factored in filters, buckets, and labor, collapsed to just 30 cents per jug. A number so low it was almost irrelevant. And the deposit funds? Placed in basic financial instruments, the returns alone were enough to cover all delivery costs with margin to spare. Let that sink in. Lenny wasn't just not losing money on free water. He was using other people's money, interest-free, to run and grow his entire operation. But the real power wasn't the water at all. 2,000 families now had Lenny's dispenser in their homes, and they weren't going anywhere. Asking for a refund meant losing free water forever, and nobody was doing that. Switching to a competitor meant losing the best deal on the street, and nobody was doing that either. When their filters needed replacing, they had to come to Lenny. He set the price. When his delivery drivers showed up each month, they brought coupons for other local services: cleaning, appliance repair, home maintenance. Lenny had quietly built a doorway into 2,000 homes, and he controlled who walked through it. In business, there is one rule that never changes. Whoever holds the entry point to a customer's life holds the power. That's why the biggest companies in the world burn billions just to capture your attention and your habits. Uber bled cash for years to own the ride. Food delivery apps ran at a loss to own the order. It was never about the trip or the meal. It was about the relationship, the data, and the dependency. Lenny understood this before most people understand it in a lifetime. So here's the question I want to leave you with. Right now, in your daily life, the apps that are free, the buy now, pay later deals, the loyalty programs locking in your purchases, who is actually running that play on you? Because somewhere someone sat down with a $100 bill, thought like Lenny, and built a system where you are the one making them money without ever realizing it. In the game of wealth, here's the uncomfortable truth. If you can't identify who's setting the trap, there's a real chance the trap was built for you. Are you the one grinding for every dollar? Or are you learning to build systems that work while you rest? Think about it. Drop your answer in the comments below, and if this story hit differently, make sure you follow Ticker Talk. More stories like this are coming. Thanks for watching.